thing called, is there anything mutable strings? Is there anything mutable strings? Is there anything mutable strings? There are something called the mutable strings are there. Those are called string buffer. String buffer. String buffer is a class where you can change or you can modify your existing strings. You can modify an existing strings. Let's look at guys here. Let me show you here. Yep. So there is something called string buffer. String buffer are a class. String buffer is a class. String buffer SB equal to new string buffer of, you can give a string here. Let's say I'm giving Java. Now I'm giving Java. So now this will be created object in the non constant pool, or you can say non normal heap memory, which is not a constant pool, non constant pool or non pool. So whenever you want to change this Java to, and you want to add something for Java to J2E, so what you can do here, you have some methods called sb.append, sb.append, and you want to say J2E, you will say J2E here. So what will happen now, you no need to refer also, you no need to refer anything. Suppose if you go with the strings, so if you say string s equal to s dot concat and you say J2E, in the strings I'm talking about, so you have to refer this, otherwise what will happen, this is become orphan.
Veera, are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, you guys not able to see this?
Yeah, now I'm able to see. Thank you.
Ganesh, okay, I think it was not shared properly. Okay, now we'll restart it, reshare it properly. Look at guys, let me explain one more time. So then this, so string buffer will create using the string buffer as b equal to new string buffer, and you'll specify the string in that. So you don't have a string buffer literal way. So when you're creating a string buffer, you have to use a new keyword. You have to use the new keyword. There is no alternate option for it, right? So string buffer has be equal to new string buffer of Java, and you want to append or you want to modify something for that, you have something called append method. I will show you that what are the methods are there for the string buffer, and we will execute those methods. We'll be executing those methods. So now when you say sb.append, internally what will happen, it will modify existing object only. It will modify existing object only. It will not create a new object. It will not create a new object. So if it is a strings, if it is a strings, so strings, what is the method we have? Either we can do a plus symbol or you can do a concat method. Let's say string.concat, string.concat, your s is nothing but Java. Let's assume that s is nothing but Java. So here if I say j2e, what will happen, this object will be created in the memory, but no one is referring. So do you assign to anyone? You didn't assign to anyone. But when it comes to string buffer, you didn't assign, you don't need to refer it. You don't need to refer it. So because, why we don't need to refer it? Because an existing object only you are modifying. An existing object only you are modifying. What you are doing, you are modifying an existing object. You are not modifying, which is something, you are not creating a new object. Ideal, the way, what I'm trying to put here, you are not creating a new object, you are changing an existing object only, right? So string buffer has come up with some set of methods where you can do some normal operations. Let me show you that. So for that, let me log into my Eclipse. So I can log into my Eclipse, which is there in Ubuntu, or I can log in which is there in my Windows. So I'm going to log in here. Please everyone is start your Eclipse. Everyone please start Eclipse. We'll see some of the things today. Eclipse is started. I hope everyone is practicing the Java code. Okay, Java code is a little important, guys. So to understand your MapReduce or Java frameworks, any of the framework, to understand that we need Java. I don't know why it is taking. It's taking quite more time because maybe my memory issue. Yep, it's loaded. So let's look at. We're going to see simple example for the string buffer. I'll be sharing these programs. I know I didn't share these programs with you guys, but I'll share these programs, guys. I'm not getting a time, but I want you to try it instead of looking at here, and at least, yeah, for references we need it. I'll give you class. I'm going to create something called string buffer demo. So package also, let me create com dot video dot under strings only. You can keep this, or you can take string buffer, not a problem. Yeah, let's keep in strings only. So why we need to have a separate buffer for it? And string demo only. String buffer demo. I need a main method. I don't want to add any interfaces. I don't want to add any superclasses. So I'm just going through this. Yep. So let me take a very simple example and let's do some. And let then explain you what is the main purpose of the string buffer, how it will work. String buffer memories SB equal to new string buffer of. We can specify like this, or you can directly append the values to the string buffer. Let's say Java. Now I want to let me print this first. Just print this, and after printing this, we can append sb dot append. We can append something. I'm going to append something called J2E, then print your SB, then print out your SB. Then execute your program. Before it was Java only, after append it is Java J2EE. So if you want to look at the hash code of this, so if you guys gone through how hash code will be created, so you guys can easily understand that. So how hash code will be calculated, so based on the content. So you can look at here, look at guys here, the hash code is changed or the same hash code. Is that hash code changed or the same hash code?
Same.
So what does it mean? It is not created a new object. It is making use of an existing object. Clear? Any doubts about string buffer? And not only append method, see if you see here, I appended but I didn't refer anyone. I didn't refer it. So I didn't say SB equal to SB dot append. No. So because I'm modifying the same memory location, the same object I'm modifying, so you don't need to refer or you don't need to assign to any other thing. Is that clear, guys? String buffer. If the same case, if you take for the strings, your hash could have been changed because the location of that new object will be different. The location of the old object is different. That's why it was showing you different hash codes. But when it comes to string buffer, the same hash code because the same memory address we are modifying. The address is same. The same address we are modifying. So that's the reason. Is that clear? The main purpose of your string buffers are to create mutable strings or mutable string objects. Mutable string objects. Any doubt? Any question? Any questions? Any questions, guys? Okay. So let me show you what are the methods are available in string buffer. So you can say when you say dot. So as soon as you say dot, it will show you all the methods which are available. But append is a overloaded method. So different data type, boolean, character array, sequence of characters, like which is sequence char sequence. You can give double, you can give float, you can give int. So it's based on that all your. But the object is written as a string buffer object only. If you see after the colon, whatever it is there, it is nothing but your string buffer, string return type. Okay. So all appends, we have whatever we have seen in the string append, and you see down there is something called capacity. Capacity means it is a buffer. So if you understand what is a buffer, buffer is some kind of memory, right? So it is a buffer. It is clearly saying it's a buffer, and initially the capacity of the buffer is 16. The initial capacity of your string is 16. So and as soon as this reaches to 16 characters, what it will do, 16 into 2 plus 2. Let me show you that as well here. So let me show you here. SYSYUT. Let me print the capacity here only. As soon as you declare capacity SB dot capacity. So look at the capacity of your string buffer, and the initial capacity was, okay, it is showing 20 because we have added 4 characters. And let me show you that how it is looks. So 16, let me show you that string buffer sb2 equal to new string buffer. It is 16. I don't know why it is showing 20. Let's see, because it's got changed. See here, the initial capacity is 16. So as soon as the capacity reaches to the capacity 16, it will become twice plus 2. It means when it reaches to 16, it will become 32 plus 2, 34. It will become 34. It will become, the capacity will become 34. So that is about your capacity method. SB dot append method, everyone knows append method as appending to adding, concatenating and a new string or new character or new array of sequence or array of characters or any other string buffer object you want to append. So you can append to your existing object. So what is a caret? The caret is returns the specific position of the carry. You have to pass the position. I want the first position, second position character. It will fetch you the character. What is the capacity? Capacity will give the how much data it can hold for initially, then what about remain in the going forward. So if you see delete, there is something called, you can delete, there is some method called delete method. The delete method will delete the characters, or you can say string. If you specify the from starting to ending position, it will delete the that specific string or the specific characters from the string buffer object. Okay, delete caret, you can specify the which position you want to delete, you can delete that. There is something called ensure capacity, not to worry, you can check the what is the capacity of it, ensure the capacity of it. So you can read here, it's clearly showing that public void ensure capacity ensures the capacity of the specified minimum, it is a minimum, and when it is goes to more than that. So let me show you the, this is the help guys, this is the document of your, which is given by Java. This is Java document. So let me make it small, you can easily understand this. Look at here. Capacity is at least equal to the specified minimum. If the current capacity is less than argument, then new internal array is allocated with a greater capacity. A new capacity will be larger of the minimum capacity argument, or the twice the old capacity. That's what I was trying to say. Twice the old capacity plus 2. If the minimum capacity argument is non-positive, the method takes no action. It will not take any action. So and simply returns the whatever it is there, whatever you have given. Right? So the minimum capacity as I shown here is a 16 by default. And you guys know what is the equals method. So get char. So you can get the character. Let me make it bigger to understand. Get class is object method, hash code, you know, index of, all these methods are there. Another method is insert method. So you can insert the new character, or you can insert the new string in the existing string. Insert means you can specify, let's say I want to insert into first position, you can specify the position. That's what offset. And boolean variable, so include or exclude. Okay, you can look at here, include or exclude. Right, you do insert multiple ways. There are multiple overloaded methods or insert. And lost index, notify all from the object class. Reverse, replace, you can replace the existing string with a new string. You can specify the starting position, ending position, and also you can replace with a new string. And reverse, you can completely reverse your string. Suppose it's the string is Java, you can reverse it. It comes like AJ. You can set the character at, you can set the length, substring and all is there from the string class. Substring, toString, trim to size, weight and all, these are from the your object class. So these are the methods available from the string buffer class. Okay, so string buffer class is thread safety. What is that? So string, as I said, string buffer class is thread safety. What is a string buffer? Whatever the methods are there in string buffer, whatever I have shown you as of now, those methods are synchronized. So what is a synchronized? So we will talk more about what is a synchronized later point of time. So synchronized means it will allow only one thread to process at a time. Very simple. One thread at a time to process. One thread at a time to if you want to process some data, it will allow only one thread at a time. A best example, if you see in the other blocks and here and there, the toilets, public toilets, only one person. I mean, if it is only one toilet room, let's assume that, or into the one toilet room, only one person can be allowed. So while going into toilet room, he will take the key and will go in and he will lock it. So once he come back and he'll return the key back to the your some guy, and someone other can make use of it. The same way, the string synchronizes, make sure that only one guy is entering and he is processing the data. Only one thread. So we'll talk more about in multi-threaded environment. So it means your string buffers are thread safe. Thread safe. Only one guy go ahead and change the capacity, or one guy go ahead and change the append. Only one guy can do some operations on the string buffer, insert or delete or review, whatever the methods. Okay. So but what is the disadvantage if it is allowing you only one thread? So if it is only one thread, so like constructing house one by one person only, constructing house one person. So first you'll one day he will construct, he will finish, next day he will it's kind of a sequential, it's kind of a sequential, right? It is not a parallel. So it will give the performance hit, it will give the performance low performance. So what will happen, the string buffers are gives you a low performance but thread safety. So if your application is a multi-threaded environment, yes, we request you, I mean, we recommend you to go with the string buffer. If it is not a multi-threaded environment, you are not going to worry about the multiple threads coming and accessing it. So then you can go with, there is something called string builder. There is something called string builder. There is something called string builder. String builder. As similar as a string buffer only, no changes at all with the string buffer. As similar as your string buffer, the only difference is your string builder is not thread safe. String builder is not thread safe. Any number of threads can access at a time. Any number of threads can access at a time. No restriction at all. Clear, guys? So if you want to do all the methods, you want to implement all the methods, I recommend you to go through the website Java T Point. In that you have all the methods with an example. Please execute all the examples. Right? String buffer and string builder. The only difference is string buffer methods are synchronized, which is the thread safe. String builder is not a synchronized, which is not thread safe. Is this clear, guys? Any doubt? Any doubts, guys? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Anisha, Ganesh, Masood, Nikesh, Aparna, Sai. No doubts. It's clear, right? So could you please someone execute this program quickly and let me know whether you guys are getting proper results or not. Or, or can someone tell me what is the differences you have seen with the string and string buffer as of now? What is the differences you guys have seen? The very first difference, let me tell you, the string is immutable class and string buffer is not immutable class. Any other differences? Can someone tell me?
When we append to an object of string buffer, it will append at the original one itself. That means when we print the hash code, we'll get the previous same hash code itself because it
Very,
is appending to that original object.
very good.
In string, it won't append because it is immutable. It will create a new object,
Mhm.
and therefore, if you print the hash code, we'll see that both are different.
Okay, okay, very good. Any other difference? Any other differences? So your string is immutable object. It doesn't matter how many threads you access because you anyway you cannot change the value. Anyway you cannot change the value, right? That's why let me put it here. I have something called 10 seats are there. 10 seats are there. 10 movie tickets are there. Okay. So there are some people are logging in and when they look at both the guys is 10-10. If it is synchronized, if it is synchronized, it will allow only one person at a time. So let's say person one came, he took one ticket, then 9 tickets. When second person sees it, even though when he look at the first time at 10 tickets, but as soon as he's going to book it, it will show 9 tickets only, because one ticket is already booked. Because it's a thread safe, only one person can process it, right? So it allows only one person to change the value of it, right? If it is changeable, if this is a value is changeable, then we need in a multi-threaded environment we need a synchronized or some other mechanism. There are so many other mechanisms, not only synchronized, there are some other mechanisms. But if something is there like a string, the value never change. The value never change. No one can change the value of the yes. No one change the value of this yes. So do I need to keep it a synchronized here? Do I need to keep a synchronized here?
No.
No need, because no one is going to change the value, because before it was someone is changing the value is mutable here. So that's why we need it synchronized. Here it is not a mutable, it's immutable. So whoever comes, any number of people comes, they can just refer it. That's it, they cannot change the value. So that's why Strings no need to be synchronized whatever it is, but string buffers are by default it is a synchronized. String buffer is by default it is a synchronized, and there is something called string builder who is not a synchronized, so I recommend you guys to go through the examples and try them. Okay, that's about your string buffer and string builder. So let's talk about something called serialization. Something called serialization. So can anyone tell me what is a serialization? Can someone tell me what is a serialization? Serialization.
Passing data through the network.
hmm Passing through a data through a network. Is that serialization? Is it the serialization? Serialization is the process of Serialization is the process of converting converting your object into byte stream. Serialization is the process of converting your object into byte stream. So why should I convert, sir? Why should I convert into byte stream? Suppose you have a machine 1 here. You have a machine 1 here. There are application Java application is running. There is some other machine is here. Some other services are there in this. Now this machine your Java program, which is running a Java program, has to go here, send an object. Let's say object has to send here. The object doesn't. What is object? Object nothing but what is object, guys? Let me hear from someone. So what is object? Object is, guys, what is object? No one is responding. Okay, so object is an entity which has a state and behavior, right? So now I'm sending some state. So now I'm sending something like employee ID and salary. I'm sending to this. Here something I have some other application is running. So now I'm sending that information here. So based on this ID, I'm doing some operation and I'm taking the results. I'm taking the results. I'm taking the results. So now my object has to travel through a network. My object has to traverse through a network. Yes or no? My object has to go through a network or not?
Yes, sir.
So now my object has to traverse through a network. This is an object. It is not like a primitive type integer or some bytes and bits. It is an object. It's a collection of something. So the collection of the object cannot travel through a network. Cannot travel through a network. Then what has to be done? So this object, we need to make this object can travel through a network. How we can make that? By using serialization mechanism. What is the serialization mechanism? The serialization mechanism is converting your object states. Converting your object states. So object states is nothing but your variables. Converting your object states into bytes. Byte stream. Converting into object states into byte stream. Let's look at here. Now my if I convert my object state into bytes, so my bytes can easily convert here. It can traverse through a network and go here. And when it reaches here, it will come as a bytes. Then again I need to make it as an object because it can understand only objects, right? Java applications understand only objects. Anything in Java is an objects, right? So then it will convert into the byte stream. It will reconstruct object, then I'll apply this logic in, I mean, it will take this object and they will do some operations and they'll give results. Correct? So converting your object state into byte stream is nothing but a serialization. Converting your reverse way, like converting your byte stream into back to object, is nothing but deserialization. Deserialization. So the serialization most of the cases will use remote machines. remote method invocation, there is something called RMI. There is something called RMI, and there is something called JMS, Java Messaging Services. The Java Messaging Services means you are sending the message from one machine to other machine, right? So Java Messaging Services. So these kind of services will convert your objects into byte stream. The same way in Hadoop also, the logic, the object has to travel from one machine to another machine, right? Hadoop is itself is saying that some connection of multiple machines. When it's a connection of multiple machines, so you have to send this object information or object state from one machine to other machine. Yes or no, guys? So that's why in MapReduce or in Hadoop, by default they are serialized. By default they are serialized. We'll talk more about what is the serialized, but try to understand what is the serialization. So can anyone tell me what is the serialization? Can anyone tell me what is the serialization? Anisha, Ganesh.
Converting the object into byte stream and sending the object through the network in the form of byte stream is called
Yep.
serialization.
Yes. Not only network, guys. Not only network. You can convert and write into the file also. You can convert this object. So can we write object into file? No, we cannot write object into file. So if you want to write into file, it has to be in the bytes and bits. So you can write your object into file as well. You can write your object into file as well. So how we will do that? By using serialization. Not only sending through a network, we can also write your objects into in a file. Any doubt about the serialization? How we will do the serialization, sir? So what is the way? How we can I do that serialization? So we can do a serialization by using an interface called serializable. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember sometime before we have discussed about the serialized interface? If you guys remember, serializable, it's a marker interface. Serializable, which is a marker interface. Serializable, which is a marker interface. What is a marker interface, guys? What is the meaning of marker interface?
It doesn't have any method body.
Okay, it does not have methods or anything, will nothing will be there. Empty interface. Serializable marker interface means it's an interface which does not contain anything, right? Then what it will do, how it can serialize? So that's a beauty of your marker interfaces, saying that it will not have any methods, you don't need to do anything, but it will tell to your JVM saying that, hey, this guy has some special feature, this guy has some special feature. Whoever implements this interface, that object has a special feature where he can convert himself into a bits and byte stream, where he can convert the bits and byte stream, and he can traverse through a network or he can write into the file, right? So let's look at a simple example and we'll close it today. Okay, let's look at a simple example and we'll close it today. So let me take the same example what I was explaining there. We will take a new package for this. Shit. Sorry guys, sorry. Com dot Vera dot serialization. Serialization. Here demo, serialization demo. Serialization demo. So do you need a main method? Yes, I need a main method. So let's look at, guys. So little concentrate, little more with a concentrate more here. So let's look at what I'm going to do here. This is a little important thing. Before that, I need some object which is a serializable object. So for that, I'm going to create one class which is employee, and this employee has to be serializable, right? The employee object has to traverse through network. So what it has to be there? Implements serializable serializable interface. See guys, I have extended my interface, implemented my interface. It doesn't forcing me to write anything because it does not have anything. It does not have anything. Let's look at now my interface. My employee has something like a name, salary, and ID. Shit. Something called salary. So how to assign these values? How to assign these values? You can have your constructor. So you can have your constructor. So you don't need to worry about that. You know these guys how to create a constructor. Go to source, create a constructor using fields, and select the what are the fields you want. You select them, press OK, then done. Then done. Now your object is ready. Now your object is ready. This object has to be serialized. So here guys, we are going to write into file. So we are not going to send network because we don't have a multiple machines or some client server kind of applications. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you it in writing into a file. I'm going to show you how to write into file. Employee Ravi equal to new employee of, so employee ID is 100. So I can say, so Veera Ravi, and I can say some number guys, some number. So that's really no matter. This. Now I need to serialize this. I need to serialize this. How can I serialize this? So what I need to do? What I need to do? So now because I don't have some application like a remote method identification like RMI or some server kind of thing is I don't have. So what I will do, I will write into file. So anything is same, both are similar. So I'm going to write into file. So if I want to write into file, now look at guys here. This is a little much important. You just try to understand. So now I have an object which is employee. I have to write into a file. This is the file. This is file, right? Now this employee object I need to write into file, right? If I want to write into file, if I want to write into file, if I want to write into file, so my employee object has to be eligible for the this what you call um what you call guys, this serialization, right? It has to be converted into bytes and scene. So now my object is going to file, so it is output. It is output, right? It is output. So I'm going to write it into. I'm going to write into my object. For object it is a output. So I'm going to write into this. First I need to create this channel, no? This channel, whatever the channel is there, I need to create a channel. That channel is nothing but in Java, uh, you can say IO streams or output streams, input streams. So now I'm going to create file output stream because it is output to my application. It is output to my application. File output stream. File output stream. File output stream. You can say file output stream f out equal to new file output stream, new file output stream, and you need to specify which file you want to write. So here I'm going to say employee dot txt. So I'm going to say it's a txt file. Now my connection is ready. So it is asking you to what it is telling. Okay, so because I'm using this IO package, right? So if I'm using IO package, either I need to write into try catch blocks. This information will understand while we are discussing about the exception things. But as of now, just add the throws. It just saying that your main method has to have something file not found exception. There may be a chance the file is not exist. There may be a chance the connection is not connected properly. So you can directly use the exception. So instead of specific exception, this is a global exception. So any type of exception I can handle it here. So I know you guys are may not able to understand something here, but just blindly keep in mind that okay, there is something called exception. If I'm using file input stream, output stream, I need to have either I need to have a try catch or I need to have a throws. Now my file connection is ready. Now my file connection is ready. File connection is ready. Now I need to write object into file. No, I need to write my object into file. No, connection is ready. This is ready. This is ready. That is object and this is file. Okay, this connection is ready. So now I need to convert this. No, I need to convert this. No, this object has to be break into pieces and has to go here, right? So that process, how will you do? There is something called output stream. There is something called output stream, object output stream, object output stream. There is something called object output stream, object output stream. You can say anything, e out, employee object out, object output stream, IO, and from this object is going to where? To where it is going? Hey, it's 1 second guys, it's not output stream, it's object output stream. And this is expecting which file you want me to write. Which file you want me to write, right? So I have the file link, no? This through this link only I have to pass, right? Through this link only I have to pass, right? So that we are doing here. What happened? Through this link only I have to pass. So I have created a link with a file. After creating a link, I'm sending my object through that link. To whom? To this file. So that's why for object output stream, I need to send it. Now, so connection is ready. So object also ready to go. So now how it will go? How it will go? There is something called write object method. E out dot write object. So what write object will do? It will start writing it. So you can find here somewhere write object. This is something called write object. Which object you want to pass? You want to pass Ravi object. Where is that? It is not showing here. So you can say Ravi here. You can say Ravi here. Done. So okay, now the data is there in the pipe. I'm started writing. So I need to, once I started writing it, right? So it's writing into a file. Now just give some push up, like kind of flush, done. Done. That's it. Very simple guys. You should have an object. They should have object. That object should be serializable. That object should be serializable. That object should have a serializable. If that object is a serializable, it's able to do a serializable. If that object is able to or ready to serializable, then we need a, suppose we don't have any remote application here to send through a network. So we are using file. So we're writing into file. So and now object output stream is required. So now we are sending an object. We need object in what you call object output is required and file output is required. So we have done that. So let's look at and compile this and see what will happen. But here there is no print statement. You will not get anything. So to check that, you can have one done. You can say done, or you can say serialize is completed. You can say that. Just say when you run, it said done. So now we need to see whether the file is created or not. Where the file is created, it will directly create under your project only. Okay, you just need to refresh your project. Just to refresh your project and go down. This is employee.txt. So look at this employee.txt. Nothing is visible because it is byte stream. It is in a byte stream. You cannot understand that it's in a byte stream, right? If it is a normal like strings and all, you can look at it. But if it is a byte stream, what you can look at it? You cannot understand, right? Understand guys? Are you guys able to follow? Are you guys able to follow? Now I want to read it. I want to check whether it's a proper or not. So what I can do, deserialization. Deserialization. I can do in the same here, or I can do in a different, what is this? I can do it here, or I can do it in outside also. So say other program also. Let me do it here only. It's completed. Serialization is completed. Let's do deserialization. Let's do deserialization. So now the same guys, deserialization also same. So now what you need to do, you should have a input stream of the file. Now you are taking input to your application. You are taking input to your application, same the 3 lines of statements, but the APIs will change. The APIs will change. So instead of output, we'll take input. Instead of output, we'll take input. Instead of output, we'll take input. That's the only change. No, the spelling is typo, actually it is. Why it is telling? File input, double time, double time. Here also double time. That's why. So this has to be import. That's what it's telling. Import this. Import. No issue. Okay. Now I need object input. No. I'm reading from the file now. Now I'm reading from the file. It is file in. It is fn. You can say e in employee in object. Employee in object. But this employee in object is coming from where? So it has to be file. So it has to be input. It has to be input. And here also it's very simple. It has to be input. And instead of write object, it has to be read object. Instead of write object, it has to be read object. Why it has to be read object? Because I'm reading the object now. I'm reading the object. So I'm reading the object. So remove this. To whom, where to? Okay, let's finish this. You need to import, nothing else. Just telling that you have import. That's it. So now you need to read it. So to where you need to read it? To employee. Let's say in dot. I have to read from the object, right? I have to read from the object. In dot read object. Now I'm reading. So I'm reading it, but I have to put to refer someone, right? I have to assign to someone, right? So that's why here I'm taking what type of object is this? Employee type. Employee d Ravi equal to, I mean deserialize Ravi. Okay, equal to this. But when you read object, it gives you object. When you read object, it gives you object. You have to convert into employee. You have to convert into employee. How will you convert? By using typecasting. Employee. Now you go ahead and print your employee object. To print my employee object, what I need to do, guys, I have to be toString method here. If you have a toString method, it's easy to print. Otherwise, it's a little difficult to print. So I'm going to override my toString method. So it's a 2 lines of the statement, and just do this. Now go here. I'll just say after deserializing object, you can say dravi. Sorry guys. Now one more time you execute. Okay, let me finish this. Let me put one more statement here. Deserialization is completed. I need to say no. Deserialization is completed and the values are printed. The values are below. Deserialization completed, the values are below. So execute this program. See guys here, employee 100 came, Viraravi came, this came. These are coming from where guys? These are coming from, don't think these are coming from this employee class. No, those are not coming from employee class. Those are coming from, if you look at here, there is no relation at all with employee. So I'm reading from the file. I'm reading from the file. Okay, you'll just refresh your file. You can delete and refresh it. So, I mean, delete in the sense you can close it and reopen. You can close it and reopen. Refresh. Can I able to read anything from the text file? I'm not able to read anything from the text file, but still I'm able to do a deserialization from the text because that object is eligible for the deserialization. That object is eligible for the deserialization. Understand guys? Any doubt? I hope most of the guys might be confused, but it's very simple. Converting your object state into byte stream and writing to file or writing into network, or reading from the same way, reading from the network or reading from the file. Any doubts? Any doubts? Anisha, Ganesh, Masood, Nikesh. So we'll continue about serialization tomorrow. Uh, Once we finish the serialization, then we'll go with something called there is something called got it. So there is no need to get confused here. It's very simple. You're converting your object, your employee object into byte stream and reading from and putting into file. To put into file. So forget about serialization. If you want to create a file or for the output stream, if you want to write something in the file, so you have to go with this. Suppose if you want to write your object into file, you have to do this output string. So there is something called write object method to write it. These are creating a connections. These are two are creating connections. This is writing a data. And reading from the file, if you want to read from the file, reading this by using these classes and creating connections for reading. For reading, you are creating connections and reading it by using read object, to tell you in a simple way. Okay, anyway, you